Hey guys, me and Lilu here. It's been a long minute. My apologies. I've been trying to figure out a way to be more consistent um, and organized with this channel and everything. Because, yeah, I just like if people are going to sign up, subscribe for the site, they kind of like what I'm doing, whatever it is that I'm talking about at the time, or yada yada, Army of the Monkey stuff, Blue Moon Treasures, um, Adventures. Well, it was the Adventures of Lilu and Bee, but I changed it to a nomadic gypsy and her kitty. It just got a really wicked ring to it. What do you figure, Lilu? What's the matter? Eh? Ow! She's a biter fighter. You're a biter fighter. Feisty. That's one thing I've been meaning to do with the Adventures of Lilu and Bee, aka Nomadic Gypsy. Stuff is actually starting like a specific blog, vlog on that and our journeys. But more so like a lot of the metaphors, of course, me and my metaphorical tendencies. But a lot of the metaphors I find along the way with, the concept of cats and dogs, and even like, so the other day, for example, okay, Lilu is terrified of dogs. And she wasn't at first. She had a big brother, they would play together. Every dog that we met for the longest time was super awesome with cats. And so they'd sniff each other out and do. And then since then, like since the beginning and stuff of me having her on leash and bringing her with me everywhere, we've had not one, not two, but 4 dog attacks. Literally. Like the one attack, I had Lilu up here in my arm. And of course, there's like blood dripping down my arm because she's clawing for dear life. And I can't blame her, like it was a really shitty situation. And these dogs were like jumping at me. And it was fucking terrible. And so now the poor thing is absolutely traumatized. Like we've since met other dogs that are good with cats, but just like when I'll have her in my arms and if she hears a dog bark, she's so tense up and just terrified, and her little heart's just beating, and it just melts my heart, And it was the other day, like I shared the post on Facebook. I don't think I put it on Instagram, but I'll try and find it and reshare it for those of you that aren't linked in. I'm trying to align everything. Well, I've been trying to do this for a long time. I think it's just all of us have been trying to do this for a long time. It's the human way, the human journey is align all the details together. Like our energy systems too, like we're just in that existence where things get thrown off, and realigning sometimes, especially with traumatic stuff, can be very challenging. But anyways, there was this post, I think February was Black History Month, isn't it? Or is that March? I don't know. But anyways, there was a post a friend of mine had shared. It was this old photograph, and it was of this lady sitting on a bus or a train with her baby, and there was this, excuse my terminology, I don't know, like he was colored, black man, however you want to put it. I never mean to offend. Far from racist, prejudiced, stereotypical, I don't know. I figure I'm kind of equally racist towards all humans, including myself. But anyways, this photo is an absolutely gorgeous photograph. there's this black man, and he's playing with this lady's baby, and this baby's like so happy, and the like the baby's holding his finger, and you can tell like those two were just having a moment. Memorexable, obviously, because the picture has made it through history, and the statement and what it's saying is just absolutely fantastic. And it says, we aren't born racist, or no one is born racist, something like that. And like, that's so true. Just like Lilu, right, with the dogs, like, everything was good at first, and then me being like a root digger and wanting to see where do the roots come from, like what is it about that, because I noticed certain breeds of dogs can be a little harsher towards cats, like oftentimes, like, it's unfortunate, but like pit bulls, and I think it's boxers, Rottweilers, like all these breeds, they have had a history of like being bred to be fighter dogs. And it's terrible because I don't know who that is. Ring-a-ling-ling. Somebody's calling me. I'm just gonna decline it. Declined. Like what's in our actual DNA, in our genetic structure. And like when you think about it, our upbringing can be a huge influence, but it's not always 100% the case. Like there's so many influences that affect our own individual personal filters that we build up over the years. And it's interesting because like we can say we're not this or we're not that, but until like you're actually sitting and observing people, can you really tell like what's true about how, like, what they say and how they are with certain things, right? But I find like, just to keep things simple, I'm just going to refer to everything as racism, like rather than breaking it all down. Well, I mean, it might not make sense for some things, but yeah. Anyways, like the filters that we build up, like somebody who might struggle a little bit with other cultures or race might not have any issues with like homosexuality or whatever, like that kind of with gender stuff. And I kind of lost my train of thought. But yeah, I was talking about Lilu with the dogs, like it's unfortunate because every dog now, no matter if it's a big dog or a little dog, every single dog, she freezes and goes into like fight mode and or want to fly, like want to run mode. And it's all because of, not one, not two, not three, but like 4 full-on attacks. So now in her mind, that's categorized. She is officially racist against all dogs. Doesn't matter what their breed is, and I just think it's really sad. Like I'm trying to encourage, and I've seen some cool videos on YouTube and stuff that people have shared with me, like other people in like the cat movement. I never personally noticed anybody anywhere with the cat on a leash. But it was just something like my cats over the years have, like I would leave them home or whatever when I'd go journeying. And then after losing Whisper, Um, and Lilu coming to me, she was like my salvation kitty kind of thing, because I was in a pretty dark place, like going through a really tough time, and then this little kitten ends up in my path, and it's so cool because I got her from some good friends of mine off a reserve nearby where I'm based, and it was cool because I was just like, it was all conveniently in the area, and I happened to be driving by their place, and my friend messaged me not knowing where I was at. And she's like, "Hey, B, would you be able to help me out with some cigarettes?" And so I'm like, "Oh yeah, it just happens. I just got some smoke." So I went and pulled in there, and she was, and like met the kitties, right? I'm like, "Oh, I want a kitty," and I was going for a little boy, but she's like, "No, we want to keep all the boys." She's like, "You can have the girl." And I was like, I don't know if I want, because I've like always had girls. I don't think I had a boy cat, couple of boy cats like a long time ago, but it's been mainly the ladies in my life. And so I was pretty set on getting myself a boy. And, well, not even like, because I wasn't even thinking of getting a cat, because I had just lost Whisper like a few months prior. And I don't know, I think it's kind of shitty. Actually, shout out to my Indian. Yeah, I know that's racist to call you that because he's not from India. But native ichthyius. I love how he's had his one familiar foot, and he's like, "Nope, I'll never betray my foot. That's it. Just one for me. I'll I will always be true to foot." And I think it's fantastic because, like, we just kind of exist in a world where so much stuff gets unhealed because we distract ourselves with whatever else comes into our path, whether it's people or, like, we're consumers, like stuff, blah blah blah. And I think that's where, with like racial and cultural issues, I think that's where a lot of the unhealed stuff kind of comes into our lineage, like, so some of it might be through our upbringing or, our environment, our regular environments, but, then there's our bloodlines and the lineage, and it's like, it's really interesting kind of to look at how the dynamics have unfolded from, what could have been history. I remember this wasn't that long ago too, actually. I was having a melt, and I was just like crying so hard, and there was just like so much emotion pouring through me. And I had an epiphany inside this experience, and I realized, like, I remember looking at my partner at the time. I was like, wow, like, this isn't all mine. And like, as a natural empath, clairsentient all my life, I I've been able to differentiate where, like, certain things that I would be absorbing to process for others who may not be able to or aren't fully processing. And so I'm helping to process, like, any of us, like, there's many of us out there. We kind of absorb all the shit, to keep it light and simple like that. Like, we take it all in, and we pull it through us, you know, and transmute it. And like ideally our mission is to like keep it all moving through us like a conduit and changing that negative into something positive. And but that was the first time I realized that some of the stuff I was processing was coming through my bloodlines. And it was a really, really powerful moment because I absolutely love my lines. I have native, and so it could be argued, but from what I remember, from a young age, because I was always like, I've always been really drawn to my native heritage, and I remember like being so curious, you know, which type of native is it that we have. And I remember very distinctly that I was told it was Blackfoot, which really resonates for me, just more so along like the nomadic line of things. Like I know pretty much all natives had the nomadic to them, and I mean people in general, right? Like we move around where we need to when resources are scarce and stuff. But I'm a different kind of nomad in that, I mean, I haven't nourished it as much as I would like to, but I've spent my entire adult life as a single mother, so, and it was scary thinking of going on the road with just this little baby by myself. I was pretty young when I had her. But I totally just had a brain fart. Yeah, the nomadic element and stuff, you know, like, anyways. So, and then recently I was informed that it's Cree. But anyways, Blackfoot, Cree, like, to me, all native tribes to me are just, and I know there's all the dynamics, and I mean that there we go again with like racial and people and stereotypes and stuff. It's basically human. We got issues with human. And it's as simple as that, but it isn't though, because there's a lot of healing that we're still processing as like a human collective as a whole. But yeah, I guess this is totally not at all what I had intended to do, and this is what I love, because I don't want to have these videos that are just really long and drag out, because I'm still, you know, getting my feelers comfy in this whole setup and whatnot, and deciding exactly where I want to go, what I'm going to do with the channel. But definitely I am going to keep it true to just unedited, unfiltered, raw, real, just this is what you get. You know, to listen to me talk. And if, you know, like, if some stuff's like really resonating with you, subscribe, like, share. Yeah, there's a lot of beautiful people in the world, and although like our internet has detached us in so many ways, and it's been really trying on a lot of people in their situations, like whether it's relationships or, you know, just like taking things for granted, you know, the excessive in that it's just so easy to not really give some things a second thought as to how they might affect each other, you know, like as people, right? Because ultimately, like, we all have common issues and struggles and stuff. Like it's not like certain emotions and whatnot are unheard of. It's just that as a whole, the way I see it, like, if, okay, our human collective, let's just say, is one living, breathing being. you know what? I'm gonna do a whole nother post on this one, because I know when I get into this one, I'm gonna. So I'm just gonna go. I want to wrap up what I was talking about, like how it's unfortunate with Lilu and the dogs. I love dogs. Like I want to get a dog to protect Lilu from other dogs, and so I'm not a terrified girl in the bush all by myself all the time, because I have not just bear bait, but a bear monitor. That would really alert me and scare off the bears if I'm just me and Lilu or whatever out in the bushes where we love to be. But yeah, we got our femininity sometimes. Like, even that, see, listen to me. Like, I'm a total warrior at heart, but I get scared, and like, and I'm referencing that to like the girl, or the woman kind of thing. But it's like, no, that's not the case for everyone. And I really like working to face and phase out that, realizing, like, there's a lot of forest and jungle out there that I'm likely going to be taking alone on, like, more of my in-depth journey of like soul revival, retrieval. Am I reviving the soul, or am I retrieving it? Or, it's always here, but I don't know, it's cool. Like, I've been finding a lot of really wicked information, like doing still in the deep diving process, trying to do my part as best I can to like help not only myself and like the own healing that I need to be processing right now, but for the collective, like for my lines, and Lilu, she's been such an inspiration. I'm like, hey, we can change things, like, because we start to alter and transmute like what's been embedded in our DNA, like this whole like 5D shift. It's powerful, and I honestly am honored to be on this planet in this existence at this time of the shift, because I see how far things have come, and how long we've been basically fighting like this very spiritual war with, to me, like, I refer to it as spiritual because it encompasses our all. Like, religion is spiritual, like, even atheists have a spiritual side to them, but may not acknowledge or realize it, because anything living life, like breathing, energy, all that, if it's 100% natural, real, and even like some of the AI factors in our like evolution with artificial intelligence and stuff, like there's so much life inside that, because ultimately us as creation, as people creation, and then the creations that have come through us, it's all energy, and it's pretty incredible. I'm slowly but surely like figuring things out, putting perspective into stuff that I've like struggled with for a long time. But yeah, I see how we can change those lines and stuff. And oh yeah, going back to, I'm gonna finish up with this one story on the racial comment. I thought hopefully this will inspire more people. If you didn't see my post or whatever, but I remember my daughter Alora when she saw her first colored black man, and he was very, very dark skinned. I don't know exactly where he was from. I didn't ask him, but it was really, really cute. Actually, like, we were in a Walmart lineup, and she was maybe 3. And we're standing in the lineup, or I roll up with the shopping cart. She starts tugging at me, Mommy, why is his skin so black? She goes, and like everything, it was like you could have heard a pin drop in Walmart momentarily. You know, everything stopped. And I just looked at her and I'm like, well, my girl, his people and himself perhaps, you know, like they were from a part of the world where the sun is so much hotter, and so their skin became a lot darker to protect them from the sun, and just like not only to protect them but just having, you know, and this is what I explained to her, like, so now that's his skin, like in his genes. And I'm not gonna lie, like there were questions that have come up throughout my journey of motherhood that I blew myself away with the answer that came out of me, and just like, wow, good answer. But I mean, it was the truth, right? Like that is one reason why some people's skin is so much darker than others. And like it was so beautiful though, because this man like actually turned back to me, and like he had a tear in his eye, and he was just like so moved, and he looked at me and he's like, thank you. I could like tear up right now just remembering it. It was just so beautiful. I think we need to remember how, you know, we all are pretty much same shit, different pile. But yeah, you know, like, and there I could go off again on something totally different, like down another avenue. But it's the truth, right? Like it's whether it's race, culture, sex, you know, even like the world of drugs and drug users, addicts, like, and how certain things are associated with whether it's certain looks or cultural backgrounds due to like, it's just really sad how we have that tendency as humans to kind of overly categorize some things or put the blame on that whole group of people or whatever, when that's not necessarily one individual. You know, like it sucks when it can be the majority for sure, but I mean, I think that's what we need to remember to start doing, is individualizing the whole, like the, yeah. Now I'm gonna go back on my little thing here, my analogy of this human species and all us hybrids amongst. Anyways, it's really cool to be able to talk about some stuff, and I'm stoked for some stuff that I'm gonna get more organized with, and actually like make myself little cue cards or whatever to keep myself on track, because anybody who knows me or those of you just getting to know me, I'm a little trailer, like especially when I'm telling stories and I get excited, and then it's like it's not so much like, oh, squirrel, it's more one thing will lead into another, and it's all just so applicable because everything has its place and influences everything, each other. Anyways, I'm gonna leave it at that. I see I've hit like the 30-minute mark. Just wanted to say hi 30 minutes ago. But I hope you guys were happy to pop in and see me. And I look forward to the next round of, I still don't know what to call this channel. That's why I'm leaving it at Savagely Graceful. Alright guys, peace. Take care.